Hi, we're the brothers Merrill. I'm Adam,
And I'm Sean.
and today we are doing a movie review of Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Um, and we have our criteria that we base our review on.
With a few added,
Yeah, we
actually.
did add a couple and I think this list is going to keep evolving. As we
I see what you did there. Okay.
as it's gonna keep evolving as we keep going.
You gotta
And
stop that. You gotta stop saying that. Okay.
my opinion of this movie is evolving.
Oh, stop.
But so, but yeah, like I think we're just gonna keep like kind of changing it around and
Yeah.
keep changing.
Thank you. No, until we get like the perfect formula, but we're still working on getting it together.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of these traits of a movie, they all affect each other. So, but this is what we have so far. We have characters, how good or memorable were the characters. Story, how solid the story is. How does the plot go? Dialogue, is it good, witty dialogue that's true to the character? Does it seem like the character would say that? Does the dialogue move the story along? That kind of stuff. Um, Entertainment value, I think of this as how fun it is. Are you entertained? Are you not entertained? Climax, does it how good is the payoff, like what it's all built towards? Does the climax, does it disappoint? Does it satisfy? How much heart?
Heart, I would explain like it hits you in the chest, like it kind of you feel it, you have like an emotional response to it, because there are movies where they're going through the motions and you're not feeling it. You're just kind of cold towards the movie.
And then presentation, I think of this as how good is the animation? Are the camera angles good? Or is there creative use of both? And purpose. This is one I really like. And we're thinking about like weighting these, and so I'm thinking that this would be a really heavy. This would be weighted very heavily because purpose is like when the movie does what it's meant to do. Like if a comedy is funny, then it fulfills its purpose. If it's an action movie, story and all that aren't as important because you're just kind of there to watch the action, and or like a monster movie, like are you watching it for the character development and like the story, or is it more to see like monsters, And so that I would say purpose. This is gonna be a weighty one, like if we like end up weighting them.
Yeah. Did the movie do what it set out to do? Okay, so for characters, Adam, on the count of three, we haven't talked to each other about this. On the count of three, share with show of hands, what you have for characters.
Should we say it or show of hands?
Show of hands.
Okay.
Oh, and we can say it.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, ready. 1, 2, 3. What's your 2? Okay, why 2? Because that implies that you thought it was subpar.
Yeah, it was subpar, and I think that the only reason it's a 2 and not a 1 is because of Pikachu.
Okay, I did something similar with how I rated it. Was that I felt like there were a lot of characters that were just like middle, some that were a little below, and then Pikachu lifted it all. I probably would have put a 2. But for Pikachu,
and it's like there was like Psyduck and Mr. Mime, but I almost didn't feel like they were characters as much as scenes.
Okay,
it was just like there was one scene with Psyduck and one scene with Mr. Mime, and that was it.
I feel like the Pokemon were the reason this movie was good, which is
I guess that is true. I guess the Pokemon were the primary characters in the. I guess maybe I'd make it a little higher if I'd thought of that, but anyway, that's the answer I put was 2.
And the other reason why I put 3 instead of maybe lower is because I felt like when characters delivered lines that were kind of campy or cheesy or corny, they were being intentional about it.
Cool. Story?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
2.
I'm just being passive. I'm sitting on this fence pretty hard on this movie. Okay, go
Well,
ahead.
at least I'm not giving anything a 1 yet.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
Yet.
Okay, that's coming.
Story, it just was full of holes, I felt, and it didn't deliver the emotional impact, which I guess you could argue is for a different category, but I don't know, it just did not flow like I want it. Like a good, it wasn't tight.
Yep.
It was very loose.
Yeah.
It had a few knots here and there that were tight, but
yeah.
Wasn't anyway.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I guess my thinking was that the reason I gave it a 3 and not lower was because I actually found the story interesting. Like, as I was watching it, I was like, this is an interesting story in that, like, plot elements about it.
There was one thing that kind of kept me engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I didn't, I wasn't expecting a lot, the thing that kept me engaged was, why can Pikachu talk? And why can they understand each other? So that was the thing I was like, that kept me engaged. And actually, I was pleasantly surprised at the explanation.
I felt like they delivered.
I mean, I called it, which I think a lot of people did.
Wow.
I called it. Oh, I mean, like, as things started unraveling, I was like, oh wait, I bet I know what's going on.
Okay.
But that was the one thing that did keep me like engaged. So and I was pleasantly surprised. So.
That's cool. Yeah. So I guess my summary would be it was an interesting story with interesting elements that was poorly executed, and so that's why I kind of was just like right in the middle.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Dialogue. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 3.
Okay, we agree this time.
Cool. Yeah, you kind of said it with Pikachu being. I felt like his dialogue was good.
Yeah, and I keep going back to that scene of like him when he's talking about his dad and he's like getting emotional. I thought that scene was decent, and I was like, okay, and I think that scene and Pikachu kind of kept it at the 3 for me because I really liked that scene. And the talking that happened there. And
yeah.
And then, of course, Pikachu. Oh, and of course the Mr. Mime scene. That was great.
That was so excellent.
And that was so, that was...
Best scene of the movie, Mr. Mime. You can YouTube that just all by itself without watching it.
Yeah, that was a
You'll
great
have fun
scene.
Watching it.
That was a wonderful scene. That was so funny. So.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
So what do we got now? Entertainment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And we didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Entertainment? Was it fun? Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to watch. And as I was watching it, I was kind of recognizing, like, bells were going off, this is a crappy movie. But then, like, another part of me was like, shut up, it's great. Like, just enjoy this, because it was fun to watch.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, if you love Pokemon, you'll love them. You'll love the movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny, part of me really loved it. Part of me was like, part of me wanted more, a better story and better writing and stuff, but part of me loved it. And, like, it was so fun to see what, the Pokemon looked like realistic. Once I was like, oh boy, like, what's the next Pokemon we're going to see animated? Like, or given, like, the realistic treatment. And I liked it. I did.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. One thing about that, so I agree that, like, I guess growing up as a little child, and so I'm totally biased, maybe like you are, I would picture Pokemon in certain situations doing certain things, and this was just like a fulfillment of that childhood fantasy. Like, oh, what would it be like if an Apom was chasing me over the rooftops, or things like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, as kids, we liked the idea of, like, what would Pokemon look like as real. Like, me and Sean, we would, like, Google, like, fan art basically of like what a realistic Charizard or a realistic Sandslash or whatever would look like, you know, and then so this was fun to
yeah.
see. I mean, and they didn't look like super realistic, but they did look like you could see the scales and the fur, and that was cool. And
Yeah.
it was so fun, so fun.
Oh yeah, yep. So very entertaining movie.
Yep, entertainment was good. All right, Climax.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, I'd say 3. Adam says 1.
Okay, and I guess I have to
Yeah.
explain why the 1.
Okay, what you
When I
got?
think Climax, I thought of the whole scene with the parade.
Yeah. Okay.
And that felt so disappointing. Everything, like the guy with like the neurotransmitter thing on his head. I was like, "Are you serious?" Like I was like, "This is so." It just felt very unsatisfying. I guess it would have been better to see like a big like scenic battle, you know, like big scope battle between Pokemon. But it was like these balloons and they're leaking gas, which you know now that I think of it though, that is kind of like something you would see in the TV show. You know, and so that actually...
Oh, that's true.
And so I guess that actually, when you look at it that way, it's like, okay, but it did not satisfy me at all. It was like, yeah.
Gotcha. I disagree just with the large scope comment, because Pokemon are literally like flying like around skyscrapers, and Mewtwo's like Supermaning all over the place, like throwing blasts, and so, and then like I really liked like the fight with Ditto, and Ditto like kind of doing cool things and being the evil Ditto character. That was really creepy too, by the way.
Yeah, that was creepy.
So
maybe it wasn't the large scale then, or large scope that bothered me then. It was, I guess I just wanted something more epic.
Yeah,
and a lot more blasts and a lot more.
I feel like you got that with Pikachu.
Yeah, what I'm trying
lightning. And
what was wrong with it?
The funny thing is, though, is I actually agree that there was stuff wrong with it. Like, because even though I was seeing kind of cool stuff, I felt like I wasn't feeling it. There was something missing in it. Maybe
you're right, because it was cool to see his like the tackle he did. I can't even remember the name.
the Volt tackle. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Volt tackle. That was cool, and I guess wide shots maybe is what I wanted more of. And you could see like you see these blasts coming down and like hitting buildings and exploding. I guess it wasn't that kind of
more
movie.
Destruction.
Maybe a little more destruction of the buildings, you know.
Well, and I
don't know.
I think too, you don't really feel like the characters are in danger that much.
It didn't feel. Yeah, the stakes weren't that high.
Yeah,
I mean, it was. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of weird that like, so the villain's plan was to weld the people in the Pokemon.
That was dumb. I
thought it was like kind of like, so that's your plan, huh? I don't know. It just didn't seem that menacing.
No, it didn't.
And it didn't seem. It felt like, I don't know. Maybe I'm used to like more mature movies, more adult's not the right word. More.
Yeah.
Like
adult
more.
Movies, what?
Yeah, more like. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm more used to like the PG-13 type stuff. This was definitely like more for kids. So
no, I agree with you there. Like a little more violence might have made it feel a little more like dire. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
Okay. Heart. 1, 2, 3. 2.
Oh my goodness.
We agree with
what this. What is this?
I felt like this movie was a little hollow. Like I just felt like there were moments, like particularly there was a moment where a certain character gets really hurt, and they kind of played it like, oh, like this is really bad, like, oh no, and like I was watching it waiting for one of them to like pop up and say, just kidding, I'm fine. I didn't feel it on that moment, and I felt really frustrated that I didn't feel more in that moment. I felt more in other moments, but like that moment I was like, I felt like it was supposed to be like the big like and it didn't deliver for me. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. Why
Heart,
2 for
yeah,
you?
Heart. It just didn't feel like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
I don't know, because Pixar, you watch those movies, and you're just like, oh, like there's so much feels here, like so much emotion, but it didn't have that. So yeah.
Okay.
Right, presentation.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
Okay. I'll tell you.
Animation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Animation solid.
Oh yeah.
Scenes were so fun. That scene with the Torteras
Oh yeah.
was so cool.
That was okay.
That was cool. And
I hated that scene.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was just me. Like, I hated the Tortera scene. I felt like it was super not. It like distracted from the purpose of the movie, and I mean, man, I guess that was the one scene that made me not give it a 5 actually. So that's just funny. Because I also noticed that when they were like trying not to like fall down the chasms that were opening up around them, they sort of looked like cheap like app games, like jumping up on the logs and
kind of
stuff.
made it look like the video game.
Yeah, it just kind of took me out of it.
Presentation for me all the way, because like animation was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was mostly the animation.
It was cool.
It was very, very good, very quality animation. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying.
The funny thing is, at times I felt like they sacrificed story for presentation. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
All right, purpose.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, for both of us.
Yeah. I mean, it did what it set out to do. It was a fun Pokemon movie. So.
Yeah, fulfilled childhood dreams.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like this one needs to be the heaviest weighted, because if you like average all mine up, it's gonna look like a terrible movie. And it wasn't. But I mean, if you average my scores up, it did fulfill its purpose, though. So.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I recently watched the old Pokemon 2000 movie, and it it actually felt pretty similar to this, and I was surprised by that. And so, while this movie's way better than that one, I felt like this movie actually stayed very true to the genre of Pokemon. And so, again, fulfilled its purpose. It was a good Pokemon movie.
Yeah. So, my average
Mm-hmm.
was 2.8 out of 5.
Yeah, and mine was 3.25. So.
Oh, I guess mine, if you had that second one, was 2.87.
Okay.
So anyway. So, and like I said, we're going to have to weight some of these criteria, because I think purpose would make that score a bit higher.
Yeah.
But anyway, so.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We are the brothers Merrill. I'm Adam.
And I'm Sean. Have a good day.